Good morning. Hand today is going to be Ace King of Hearts. We are in the cutoff. Folds to us. We open raise. Pretty standard. And we get a call from the big blind. He's playing 23-3. Looks to be a bit passive. 3-bet range. We've got aces. We got a 4-bet range at 5s. That seems a little odd. We've got called 3 bets in position with jacks. Called 2 bets from the blinds. That's what we're looking at. We've got ace king suited, 7-6 suited. So I'm going to say suited connectors, suited broadways. And then we see king 9 off and queen jack off. So we're going to have probably your offsuit broadways. And then the fact that you have king 9 makes me think that we have that he's playing more along like the big card strength type hands. So instead of kind of restricting it just to offsuit broadways and then expanding to like king suited, queen suited type hands, I think he went king 9 and then probably like the ace x offsuit hands. Not going down to all king x suited, but like king 9, king 8, and so forth. We included suited connectors. We had 7-6, but then I also included the one gappers as well, and this gets us to 27.4%. 3-bet range, it said kings and aces, and then 50% chance of raising with queens and ace kings. I think that kind of is in line with this 3-bet range. You can see 1 out of 182. That could be bad luck, or it really could be like this is approaching 0.5% at this point. So it might just be aces and kings, but we have to give the possibility that he's going to raise with ace king and as well as queens. So we're going to go with this. Flop comes down, king, queen, jack, 2 diamonds. So top pair with open ender would be great if we had diamond here, but we don't. So villain checks to us. We do have him donking 26% of the time, so 5 out of 19, which seems a little strange. We've got donks flop with top pair or better, donked paired flop without trips or better, and so forth. So I'm not sure if this is necessarily a donk worthy board, but he checks to us. So now it's our range. You can see the ranges aren't too far off. 32% for me, 26% for him. Now that we kind of exclude some of these hands or some of the combos with the king, queen, jack. So he checks us. What do we do? I think this is definitely a board we could probably fire on. I think Jack X is going to have a hard time calling. I bet Queen X might call once. Like a Queen 10's probably going to call. I'm not sure if a Queen 9 would probably call, but yeah, those would call. We've got some big hands in our range, so we could have easily had a straight. We could have flopped a set. I think we are really just going to play this a bit aggressively, and I think we should. So if we do top pair plus, that's 34%, which means we're probably using everything else just as a bluff, as a value bet. We could add flushes, we could add open enders. You could do your gut shots. You can see the gut shots. Just once you add the gut shots, that we've got 5s that are in there. All of the kings, the queens, the jacks. So just pair plus flush draw, or pair plus gut shots kind of gives us a lot. So this is pretty good balance at 76%. Middle pair, bottom pair, pocket pair below the boards. We might be able to use those as a check. If we go all that way, you can see we're including some of our 1 pair hands, some of our top pair plus as in our bluff range at that point. And we could definitely fix it. So if we go open ender, we can say king 10, that's value. Our gut shots, all of our kings are value. There we go. All right, so now You can see we still need some more. We're still at 76%, but we still need some more. 2-card backdoor flush draws. We can look at hands like these. Ace X. You could do. I don't think any of our kings. I think there's a lot of value with our King X hands. We can talk about Queen X. So basically, the rest of these gets us to 47. And then we can kind of add these. Those are still part of our gut shot. Yeah, Jack 9 still part of our gut shot. I actually think we probably leave some of our pocket pairs, and then just kind of go for some of these and say we're just gonna add these hands just to get our frequencies up. So maybe something like that. We're at 90%, which might be good. We're gonna see it. This board's gonna connect a lot. I don't think we're gonna be getting a whole lot of flushes, but I think we can fire 2 barrels and get quite a few folds at this point. So I think this is what we're gonna probably look at. We'll check GTO, see what they say, but I think this is gonna be a pot that or a board that we're betting a lot, nearly 100%. I bet a third pot, and I'm not sure if I like that. I think going larger helps to polarize our range a bit, but I guess since we're betting so frequently, smaller size might be a little bit better. It keeps a lot of cards in our range, a lot of draws in our range. And it might encourage a hand like 9-8 to call, to go for that gut shot. So he bets small, he calls. When he calls, I think we are going to. He doesn't seem to show aggression. So let's check our flop, check raise, 1 out of 14. And he is capable of doing that. I'm going to change this and say 50% for the straights, and I think his sets are about 50% as well, and probably 2 pair, just to kind of reduce those frequencies. I think those could all be check raised. We'll include our overpair, our top pair. Well, he doesn't have overpair, but we'll include our top pair. We're going to include flush draws, open enders. I think with the size, maybe gut shots. Definitely we'll do all of the aces. Those yeah, I think we're gonna do all of these 1-card gut shots. And that allows like the middle pairs to stay there as well. So we're gonna say that's what he calls with. Turns a queen, and I actually think that's a pretty bad card for us. I think it can expose us. We could already be behind. I don't think the queen necessarily changes a whole lot. Well, no, it could change drastically. Any queen X now is going to have 3 of a kind. All of those 2 pairs with the king, so the king, queen, queen, jack, now fill up. If you had jacks, that's going to be filled up. It's going to, I think, slow things down a bit. Villain checks. I think he's going to check everything, but then it puts it on us. What do we continue with? I think at this point, I don't think we're going to be betting all of our straights. I think there's going to be maybe like a frequency, maybe 50% that we bet our straights. 50% we bet our straights. I don't even think we're going to be betting all of our 3 of a kinds. I think like ace queen has some draws, so if we're ahead, a 10 might or if we're behind, a 10 might actually allow us to pick it up. Although a 10 is going to be a very scary card for us. So maybe like the ace, queen, queen 10 are checks, and then these other queens, like queen 8, queen 7, queen 6, queen 5s are going to be bets. I think the overpair becomes a check, a top pair becomes a check. You're looking at a bet of about 11%, which means when we look at our draws, maybe our flush draws, maybe we're just going to do our flush draws. We do have some open-enders, but I don't think we could bet them. So I think maybe just that's going to be our bet. So we went from like 90-some percent, 93% C bet down to 20.9%. Did I bet? I didn't. I checked. So let's go ahead and let's X those out. Oops, we got some overlapping here. So we're going to do that and that. And then for the straight, we're going to switch that to a call. We've got these for a call. Or not a call, a check. All right, so 79%, that's going to be our check. So we still have some hands that can pick up a draw, and we still have decent hands in our range. Let's see here. So 45%. So we're at almost 50%. We're about 50-50 equity, and I think that's probably why we're not necessarily betting a whole lot. You know, range versus range, we're not that far ahead. So the river comes out 10 of hearts. Villain now bets pot. I think he could bet pot with quads, full house, straight. Maybe even like 3 of a kind if he has it. I guess what happened to his 3 of a kind? It should still be there. All right, he's got ace queen. Oh, so ace queen comes up with a straight. Queen 10's a full house. Queen 9. So you should have 2 combos of queen 9. Oh no, because 9 now becomes a straight. Okay. Yep. So we could do that. So yeah, maybe the straights here is what he's betting. I don't think anything else. I think that's his bet. So now it comes back to us. What do? We can kind of put it together and say, if this is what he's betting, how many of these hands do we beat? And how many do we tie? So 20% we beat, we tie or lose to 80% of hands. So we can kind of go change this to change these to orange, so we get a much better picture. I think that's orange. So yeah, 69% we split. So I think based on that, since I don't think he's going to be doing this a whole lot with a bluff, that he's actually going to have some hand, and probably the worst hand that he'll have is a straight. I don't think we're in a position to raise. I really don't think we're in a position to raise. So if that's what he's doing, I think our straight just becomes a call. I think full house is obviously a raise. So straight's a call. I think a top pair is going to be just probably a fold unless we play that as a bluff catch. Yeah, if we just play that as a bluff catch, and we could do that with like a king 2, king 3. And we are supposed to bluff catch some of it. I think to balance our raising for the full house, I think we just look at a nothing hand, like a 3-4, 5-3, and include that as a bluff. So I did call, and villain shows ace king. He shows the same hand that we have. So We did include ace king small percentage because his 3-bet range looked, or his 3-bet frequency looked actually pretty low. So what we can do is go ahead and take a note of this. So pre-flop, he called cutoffs to big blind RFI. I think that was, no, I actually did 3 big blinds. So ace king clubs. So he bet a pot. All right, so he check called 33%, check, and then bet 100% on a king of diamonds, queen of diamonds, jack of clubs, queen of spades, 10 of hearts. All right. So I think it's worthwhile to check GTO and see how we're supposed to play this given his range. So that's what I did. Already ran it, had it going. So yeah, he's not really going to be donking a lot. I think most of the hands are going to be checking, and now it's on us. And I went ahead and just did 33%, just to see, kind of be consistent with what we're doing. And you can see right here that our bet, our frequency, our C bet frequency is only 50%, 51%. So I think in a spot like this, I'm probably going to be over betting here, betting too frequently. As I said, I think Villain's going to be calling quite a lot. We go to the flop here. We had him calling 72% of the time, and maybe that's why we're not going to be betting as often. So let's kind of go back, just range versus range on this board. We're ahead 52%, not a huge amount. Not a huge amount. So I think smaller size is probably going to be a little bit better. If we go larger, I bet this number probably drops a bit. What is our hand? Our ace king. Our ace king is sometimes bet, sometimes check. So our bets could be okay, but you can see just overall bets. We're betting our straights. We're betting our sets. We're betting our 2-pair. We're mostly betting our 2-pair. Actually 50-50. A little more than 50-50. So 16 to 11. 70% maybe. 16 over 28. It's 60%, 60 to 70% 2-pair, over pair. Top pair now becomes about a 50-50 check to bet. And I think those top pair type hands, you can see we're not betting all of our king X hands. We're keeping those behind. We tend to be favoring slightly the backdoor flush draws. Here's king 10, backdoor flush draw with the straight draws. So I think overall I'm probably, at least in the workup, thinking maybe c-betting too much in this spot. So we'll go with our bet just like what we did. Villain's calling. We had him calling 70-some%, like 72%. GTOs have him calling only 55%, so he should be folding some of these hands that I think we had him calling. So like the gut shots, we had him calling basically with all of these gut shots, and GTO saying you should probably fold those. Queen of spades comes out, and then he checks to us, and if we bet 50% of the time, now we're only betting 38% of the time. And it looks like here is when we bet those ace kings, it looks like we are now betting again. So we've got the quads that we didn't bet, or the quads that we just picked up. We're betting full house betting, straights we're betting, 3 of a kind we're betting. Not all of them. Queen 10 is a check. We're withholding those. Probably because we block like all of the 10x hands, a jack 10, 10, 9, while villain should have aces or could have aces. We're using our gut shots, not all of our gut shots, but these, and I think that's where the king comes into play. Where, let's see, the top pairs, We're still betting with our King X hands. At least GTO's recommending that we're betting with our King X, but not all of them. King Jack just gets hosed when you have two pair. That Queen counterfeits it. So King 6, King 7. So we do withhold some of those things. So we should have been betting here, according to GTO. Let's go ahead and say we checked. 10 of hearts comes in. Now he bets the pot. I had him bet the pot. And his betting of the pot is, full houses, some straights, and of course no made hands. I'm not sure if he's actually doing that, given his passivity. So if he bets, then we're raising the full house. That's what we're raising, but we're just calling basically any other hand that we continue with, and that includes our straight. So we do have some ace kings that we call. So at least our call's right. In this spot, if we go check, he bets. We are calling. We are supposed to call, and we're not raising. So we're good with that. But I think there's two things that kind of messed up. One, frequency, c-bet frequency. In game, I'm not sure if I would be c-betting that as much, but I don't know. Maybe we would be. It's something I'm gonna have to pay attention to. Try to figure out, am I over c-betting in this spot? Do I need to start like slowing it down a bit? And number two, this was a good spot. I kind of thought the queen maybe should have been a check for us, but actually it's a solid bet. Solid bet with our ace king, and we're going up. This is half pot bet. This was a half pot bet for us. So messed up this hand a little bit. We split the pot, which is okay. But I think if we bet here, ace king, would we get ace king to fold? I don't know. Maybe we'd have to really look at this player a little bit more. But if we bet and he just calls, then I think he checks to us. If he bets to us, I think we call. We have some calls in our range, but wow, this is actually somewhat of a surprise. Yeah, we have some straights that we call with. We're raising quads. We're raising some of our full houses. We're calling with some of our three of kinds, but see, we're calling with some of our three of kinds, but then we're folding some of our straights to some of our ace kings. And I think the reason why is we start to block some of the King X hands. So it makes it less likely that villain's going to have like a King X hand that's betting. So I think it's kind of interesting that GTO's recommending folding some of these. I'm not sure. And the reason is GTO saying you should only be betting like this with the full house. I bet if we changed it to where he's doing that, where he's betting with his straights, it's gonna make our call basically 100% call. But what I wanted to do is look here. If we continued betting and he calls and then he checks to us, what do we do? Ace kings check behind at this point. We don't go for. We go for some value with our straights. We like ace queen because we block. We're starting to block like the queen X hands. I think that's the important part. We're betting when we have the queen. Because now we're forcing villain to have jacks, kings, or tens. Which he could have tens, he could have jacks. He basically has all of those combos minus three of each. 3 combos of tens, 3 combos of jacks. Only 1.5 combos of kings, or actually no combos of kings, because I assume aces and kings would have 3-bet pre-flop. So, all right, I think we're just gonna end here. We kind of looked through some stuff, talked through it. Definitely need to look back. I'm curious what my c-bet frequency is on a board like this, like king queen jack. So I'm curious what it is. But in any case, I need to slow down a little bit on the c-bet. And when we did c-bet, the queen was actually a pretty good card. What if this was different? What if this was a jack? How does that change it? So we bet, jack comes out, he checks to us. Do we still bet? No, that changes it. Jack changes it. Yeah. What about a king? Yeah. What about a 10? Well, 10 gives us a straight, but we still check. Oh, okay. To 8. So 9, 10, jack. 9, 10, jack. Okay. What goes an 8 of diamonds? That starts to change it too. I bet any of the 9s are probably, yeah, any of the 9s, 10s, and jacks are probably going to be bad for us. Where we check with our ace king. Let's do queen of clubs. He checks. Check. Yeah, 10. Yeah, we still just kind of check with those ace kings. Even when we improve to the straight. I think that's kind of interesting. We're not betting all the time with the straight. 9, 8. Two. Let's go for a 2. Yeah. Low cards help us. We continue betting, but the 9, 10, jack really does not look good for us. Even though the 10 improves us, we're slowing down. We're going to use ace king as a check at that point. Same thing. So yeah, good point. Good thing there. Good thing to look at. What if we paired our ace? Well, let's do ace of clubs. We have ace king. Yeah, mostly betting with the ace. What about the king? Still betting. We already did. What if there was a king of spades? Yeah, I don't think that's gonna change much. Ace of spades. Yeah. Okay. So I think we figured it out. I think we worked it out. Jack queen, 9, 10, jack. Those are the bad cards. Those are the ones we're checking most of the time with our ace king. All of the other cards we should have continued betting, including this queen. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed this. Still a little long. These will become a little bit shorter as we probably starting next week. Probably limiting to about 15 to 20 minutes. Probably less of the GTO unless I get that run like the night before. So hopefully you enjoy these. If you do, look tomorrow for another.